Hello, everybody. We're back for the final game of this four-game series between Arizona and San Diego. Leading off for Arizona, playing right field is Upton. Batting second, playing short is Crenton. Batting third, playing first is Goldsmith. Batting fourth, playing left field is Gonzalez. Batting fifth, playing second base is Bell. Batting sixth, playing center field is Finley. Batting seventh, playing third base is Reynolds. Batting eighth, on the catching is Miller. And on the mound, batting ninth is Ray. And leading it off for the Padres, playing left field is Richards. Batting second, playing second, Lotoria. Batting third, playing center field is Gwynn. Batting fourth, playing third base is Caminetti. Batting fifth, playing shortstop is Tatis. Batting sixth, playing right field is Winfield. Batting seventh, on the catching is Santiago. Batting eighth, playing first base is Corbett. And on the mound, batting ninth is DRAVECKY. Let's get down here to San Diego and get this game started. And we got Upton to lead it off here, batting 170 with 6 homers and 7 RBIs. And Dave DRAVECKY, this will be his third start. He's 1-0 with a 2.84 ERA. And here's the pitch to Upton. And he starts this game off. That ball is hit down the first base line, and Justin Upton's going to start this game off with a double. So a lead-off double by Upton. And now Alex is up with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. And Alex is batting 182. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll be an 8. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. And with nobody out, will they send Upton will be the question. That'll be a 5. That'll be a 55. And he'll score with no throw. So that's an RBI single. And just like that, the Diamondbacks are up 1-0. And now Goldsmith's up with a runner down at first and nobody out. And Goldsmith's batting 234, 3 homers and 7 RBIs. And that ball is high. That ball is far. And the Diamondbacks are taking it to the Padres. It is off 3-0. Gonzalez comes to the plate. Before these fans can even sit down, their Padres are trailing 3-0, nobody out. Gonzalez batting 214, 3 homers and 7 RBIs. And finally, that's going to be a ground ball down to Caminetti. He fires over the first, and they get the first out of the inning. And Bell comes to the plate now. And Bell's batting 176. He's got 2 homers and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Gwynn. So now there's 2 down. And up to the plate steps Steve Finley. And Finley's batting 227 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Dave settles down after the homer. But before you could get settled in, it's Diamondbacks 3. San Diego coming to the plate. You got Reynolds, Latoya, and Gwynn due up. And Gene's batting 100 with no homers and 1 RBI. And Robbie Ray, this is his third appearance. He's 1-1 with a 4.15 ERA. And here's the pitch to Gene. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Robbie strikes out his first batter. Start this game with. And Mark comes to the plate. Mark's batting 0 for 5 on the year, folks. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Reynolds throws over to Goldsmith, and there's 2 down. And Tony Gwynn comes up now. And Tony's batting 275. He's got a homer and 10 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on ball. So Gwynn gets aboard here with a 2-out walk. And Ken Caminiti comes to the plate. And Kim's batting 182. No homers and no RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Steve. They're going to strand one. We go to the top of the second. It's 3-0 Arizona. You got Reynolds due up, followed by Miller and Ray. Bottom third of the order. And Reynolds is batting 300 with 3 homers and 4 RBI. That's going to be a ground. Nope, that's a swing and a miss. He strikes Reynolds out for his second strikeout of the game. And now it's Miller up. Miller's batting 118, 1 homer and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a back-to-back strikeouts here, folks. And all of a sudden, after giving up those 3 runs with the first 3 batters, Dave settled down. Robbie's up. Robbie's batting 200 on the year. He's no homers, but he has an RBI. And that's going to be a swing and miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night as DRAVECKY strikes the side out. To the bottom of the second we go. Tatis, Winfield, and Santiago due up. Tatis batting 100, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. He's down to first. And Dave Winfield's up. Winfield's batting 222. He's got a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a 9 against a 9. Right. Yep. A 9 and a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 64 and an 8. Probably going to be fielding column 3. And it is. The runner's going to get down the second. That'll be a 6-3 put out. So Tatis gets down the second. 1 out for Benny. And Santiago's batting 429, off to a good start. No homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be against the lefty. An 8 and a 10. Yep. 8 and a 10. And that's a single in the center field. And with 1 out, Tatis is probably going to score easily with his speed. We'll check here. Yep, there's not going to be a throw. So that's going to cut the lead to 3-1. RBI single by Benny. And he's down at first now with 1 out. And Nate, he's batting 286 on the year. He's got a, let's see here. I looked at that wrong. Back. I wasn't looking at the wrong. Looking at the wrong chart here. I don't think that's going to be an RBI single. That was a 10, right? A 25 and a 10 against the 8. It's still a single, but the runner gets down the third, not home. So that's going to be a single, but it's first and third. So now it's first and third and 1 out. And Corbett's up. They're going to do a hit and run here, folks. Try to stay out of the double play. And a 53, that's a 20, a 32, and a 7. 32 and a 7. And that's going to be fielding column 2 on a hit and run 20. A hit and run single. Runner scores other the third on the hit and run. No, with the defense back on a 20. Defense back. Safe on air. Safe on an air. Runner scores other the second. So that's going to be an E4. And we got first and second. And it's a 3-1 ball game. And Dave comes to the plate. And Dave is 0 for 4 in the year. They're going to give him the bunt sign here. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He fouls that one off. that's going to be a 23. 41 and a 1 is probably fielding column 3. Yep. And that's going to be a an E1 as Ray throws the ball away. The runners will advance 2 bases. And they're just screwing the pooch here, folks. Dave will be down at first. So now you got first and third, still only 1 out. And a 3-2 ball game now. Time runs down at third. They're going to play back for the double play. Gene 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. 43, and that should be 48. Can they get a sacrifice fly here to tie this game up? A 30. And that's going to be a 56 or lower. 56 or lower. And he's in there, so Gene gets a sacrifice fly. And that'll tie the ball game up. Now you got a runner down at first. And 2 outs for Mark. And Mark is 0 for 1. He grounded out, but it's a 3-3 ball game, folks. Most of these runs are unearned. These errors are killing them. That's going to be against the lefty at 12. And that's going to be a single in the right field. Upton's got a cannon out there. But there is 2 down. And let's see, a 49. 27 or lower. He makes it to third. 53 or lower. 53 or lower. Doug makes it to, you know what's the pitcher? We're not doing that. We don't want him. So he's going to stop at second. So we got first and second. And we're going to have Tony Gwynn at the plate. And a 3-3 tie. Tony walked his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Steve. That'll end the inning. But the Padres score 3. Make it a 3-3 ball game. Let's see how many of those runs was earned. Only one of them may have been earned. None of them was earned. 3 unearned runs ties this ball game up, folks. We got the top of the order due up here for the Diamondbacks. Upton, Crinton, and Goldsmith. Justin 1 for 1. He doubled and came around the score. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Gene and left. And there's 1 down. Now Alex comes to the plate. And Alex is 1 for 1. He had the RBI single his first time up and came around the score. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Dave. He fires over to Nate, and that's 2 down. And here comes Paul Goldsmith up. And Paul, he hit the 2-run homer his last time up. He's 1 for 1. That's going to be 14. It'll be a 12. And that's going to be a single in the left field. So Paul's aboard with a hit. 2-out single. And Gonzalez comes up. Go ahead, runs down at first with 2 down. And Gonzalez, he grounded out. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. 65 and a 3 is going to be fielding column 3. Yes, it is. That's going to be first on air, runner to third. So not very good play out here by the defense. Runner's going to get down to third. So now you got first and third and 2 outs. And up to the plate steps Jay Bell. And Bell, he flew out first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. Dave picks it up, tosses it over, and they get out of this mess with nobody scoring. We go to the bottom of the third. It's still a 3-3 game. You got Caminetti, Tatis, and Winfield due up here in the bottom of the third. And Ken's 0 for 1 today. and that's going to be a swing and a miss. Ray strikes him out, and that's Ray's second strikeout of the game. And Tatis comes up. He walked and came around the score back in the second. And he gets a hold of this one, folks, and you can forget about it. The ball's hit out the deep center field. Kiss it goodbye. Finley turns around and watches that one leave the yard. And it's a 4-0 ball game. And now you got Dave Winfield up, 1 out and nobody won. Winfield's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a 9. That's going to be a fly pop up down the short. Dave got under that one. That'll be out number 2. And Benny and the Jets, boom, 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 comes up. Benny's 1 for 1. He singled and came around the score. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Ray strikes him out, but he gives up the homer to Tatis. And it is a 4-3 ball game. We get to the top of the 4th. San Diego with a 1-run lead. You got Finley, Reynolds, and Miller due up here in the 4th. And Steve struck out his first time up. And that's going to be against the lefty, 17. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Gene and left for out number 1. Mark Reynolds comes to the plate now. And Reynolds is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a pop-up down the second. Mark says he's got it near the mound and does. There's quickly 2 out. And Damon Miller comes up. He struck out. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short, a 62 and an 8. That'll be fielding column 3. And that's going to be an error on Tatis. That's an E6. And that's the second error given up by the Padres. There's 4 errors in this game, 2 apiece. Ray comes up, so the worst, it gets the pitcher out of the way here in the 4th, and he won't be leading off the 5th. Ray struck out his first time up, and that's going to be against the lefty, a 13, and that's going to be a ground ball down the 3rd. Ken Caminiti fires over to first. And out to win it, so the error doesn't cost them. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 4-3 San Diego. You got Corbett, DRAVECKY, and then back to Gene at the top of the order. Nate reached on an error and scored. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Reynolds. He fires over to Goldsmith. There's 1 down. And Dave comes up, and Dave's 0 for 1. He reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the, nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out for out number 2. And Gene comes to the plate now, and Gene's 0 for 1. He has struck out and had a sacrifice fly. And that's going to be a rare play, 26 and a 40. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 1. So here's the 0-1 pitch to Gene. And that's going to be swing and a miss, and Ray strikes him out. And that's Ray's 5th strikeout of the game, folks. We go to the top of the 5th. It's still a 1-run Padres lead. You got the top of the order due up here for the Diamondbacks in the 5th. Upton, Critton, and Goldsmith. Justin 1 for 2 with a double. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out for out number 1. Now Alex is up, and he's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And that's going to be a ground ball down the mark at second. Over to Nate, and there's 2 down. And Paul Goldsmith's having a good game. He is 2 for 2, folks, with a 2-run homer in this game. And that's going to be a base hit, an infield hit for Goldsmith. So he's a perfect 3 for 3. That brings up Gonzalez now. Tying run down at first. Go ahead run at the plate. And Luis is 0 for 2. He did reach on an error his last time up. And not this time. That's a ground ball down to Tatis. He fires over to Nate. And that'll win the inning. We go to the Bottom of the fifth, you got the 2-3-4 hitters due up here. Mark, Gwynn, and Caminiti. Mark's 1 for 2, singled his last time up. That's going to be a lazy fly ball out to Luis and left. 1 down. And Tony Gwynn steps up to the plate. And Gwynn's 0 for 1. Walk back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Alex. Hey, that's a swing and a miss. He strikes Gwynn out, folks. Strikes Gwynn out. So now there's 2 down, and Ken Caminiti's up. And Caminiti's 0 for 2, struck out his last time up. And that's going to be against the lefty, an 11, and that's going to be a single in the left field. So Caminiti turns on that one, gets a hit. Now there's 2 down, and Tatis is up, and he hit a homer his last time up, folks. He's 1 for 1. He has walked. He's got a homer, an RBI, and he has scored both times he's been up. And that's going to be that may be, yep. That's going to be a single in the right field. Goldsmith can't get to it. And it's first and second, and Dave Winfield's up. And Winfield is 0 for 2. He is ground down and popped up. And that's going to be a base on balls. And all of a sudden here with 2 outs, the Padres are making some noise. And the pond is full of Padres. Everywhere you look, there's a duck on the pond. Caminiti, Tatis, and Winfield. Benny at the plate. Benny's 1 for 2. He came around the score back in the second. He struck out his last time up, though. But not this time, folks. Where's this one going to end up at? That'll be an 8. And that's a 7, right? Yep. That's going to be a single in the center field. And that's probably going to score 2 with no throw, with 2 outs. And it definitely will. Let's see if they can even get Winfield out at third. It'll be a 59. Nope, Winfield's going to get down to third. So that's a 2 RBI single. And we got first and third. And San Diego, all this with 2 outs, folks, has just busted this game open. It is now a 6-3 lead. And you got Nate up. And Nate's 0 for 2. He did reach on an error and come around the score back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball, 42 and an 8. That should be fielding column 2. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Reynolds fires over to first. That'll end the inning, but 2-run score on the 2 RBI single and makes it a 6-3 game as we go to the top of the 6th. You got Bell, Finley, and Reynolds due up here against Dave. And Jay is 0 for 2, grounded out and flown out. That's going to be a ground ball down the short. Tatis is up with it. Fields it cleanly over to Nate for 1 down. And Steve Finley comes up now. He's 0 for 2. He's just struck out and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Ken. Caminiti fires over to Corbett, and there's quickly 2 down. And it's up to Mark Reynolds to start something here in the 6th. He's 0 for 2, struck out and popped up. And that's going to be a base on balls. You don't want to do that with a 3-run lead. Brings up Miller now. And Miller, he's 0 for 2. He reached on an error his last time up. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll be in the 11. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Caminiti over to first. And that'll end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th in a 6-3 game. It'll be Dave due up, followed by Gene and Mark. DRAVECKY 0 for 2, reached on an error and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Mark. Reynolds is up with it. throws over to first. Easy out. We're back to the top of the order now, and Gene Richards, he's 0 for 2. He did have a sacrifice fly, but he struck out the other 2 times up. And he ain't striking out this time, folks. He squares this one up. And that ball is driven into the gap in right field. And Upton gets over there quickly and holds Gene to a single. Nice job by Upton. So Gene's down at first with 1 out. And we're going to do a little hit and run here, trying to stay out of the double play. And that's going to be a fly ball out to left. Gonzalez makes the catch. And Reynolds will get back. And then Tony Gwynn's up with 2 outs and a runner still at first. And Tony's 0 for 2. He has walked, flown out, and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Alex. He goes the short way over to second. And that'll end the inning. He can get stranded. When we go to the top of the 7th, it's a 6-3 San Diego lead. And they'll have a pitch hitter here for Ray. And then it'll be Upton and Alex do up. And Eric Burns will come off the bench here. Pitch hit. And Eric Burns on the year 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to Burns. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. No doubt about that. That's just driven into left field down the line right over third base. That's going to be a leadoff double by Eric. So he's sitting down at second with nobody out. And Justin Upton's up now. And Upton, he is 1 for 3. He's doubled and came around the score back in the first. And that's going to be a 12. And that's going to be a single in the center field. And Burns may score here. And that's going to get the bullpen up. That'll be a 1. So 45. 30. They're going to send him. They're going to send him here. That'll be a 56 or lower. He scores as we drop the dice. Okay. And he's going to score easily on that single. So now it's a 6-4 game. Still nobody out. A runner down at first. And Alex is up. And Alex is 1 for 3 with an RBI and came around the score. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 62 and an 8 should be fielding column 3. Yes. And that'll get the runner down the second. Only play for Tatis is over to first. So now you got 1 out and a runner down at second. Ty and Ryan coming to the plate. And Goldsmith, he's a perfect 3 for 3 today with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a on balls. Might not be a bad thing to walk him. Sets up the double play. With Gonzalez up now. But the worst part is now the go-ahead runs at the plate. Gonzalez is 0 for 3. He did reach on an error, though, in this game. And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. I hope that's a pop fly in the foul territory. Nate goes over, makes the catch for out number 2. That brings up Jay Bell now. And Bell, he is 0 for 3. He has flown out and grounded out twice. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dave strikes him out, gets out of the mess in the top of the 7th with only 1 run scored. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. It's a 6-4 ball game. And let's see, Kim's going to come out of the bullpen here for Arizona. Let's see here for a second. We might do a double switch here. Barnes may stay in the game. Gonzalez is going to come, I believe. Or do we do this? And Martell will come in the game for Bell. Martell can come in the game for Bell. He'll bat in the 9 spot. And Kim will bat, and that's how we'll do. Do the double switch that way. We'll do the double switch that way. So Kim will come in the game. He'll bat in the 5 spot. And we'll need a new second baseman. Martell will come in. He'll bat in the 9 spot and play second. Alrighty. And Kim will be facing the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Caminetti, Tatis, and Winfield, trailing by 2, trying to keep it that way. Kim, this is his 5th appearance. He's 0-1 with a 3 ERA. Caminetti's 1 for 3. Singleton came around the scores last time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Kim strikes him out for out number 1. And Tatis comes to the plate now. And he's 2 for 2. He has a homer and a single. Came around the score all 3 times he's been on base. And that's going to be against the righty at 19. That's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Upton makes the play. And there's 2 down. And now you got Dave Winfield up. Winfield's 0 for 2. He walked his last time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Finley. And that's a 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. And it's still a 6-4 ball game. And the bullpen will be up. They'll have a short leash here on Dave. He's got Finley, Reynolds, and Miller due up. Finley's 0 for 3. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Caminetti. He fires over to Corbett, and there's 1 down. And Mark Reynolds comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Struck out, popped up, and walked his last time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Winfield. And there's 2 quick outs here in the 8th. And it's Miller time here. And Miller's 0 for 3. He has struck out, reached on an error, and grounded out. And And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dave ends the game in style. I believe that's going to be his last batter. As we go to the bottom of the 8th in a 6-4 game. You got the bottom third due up. Santiago Corbin and a pitch hitter for Dave. Benny's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs in the game. And that's going to be a ground fly ball out to Gonzalez. That'll be out number 1. And Nate comes up. And Nate's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error and come around the score back in the 2nd. And that's going to be another ground ball down to Reynolds. 2 ground balls to third, 2 quick outs. Like I say, that'll be it for Dave. He goes 8 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And Gonzalez is going to come off the bench, try to add to this lead with 1 swing of the bat. And Gonzalez is batting .265, a homer, and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. Kim has nothing to do with him. Rather pitch to Gene, which I can't blame him. So we're back to the top of the order with a runner down at first and 2 down. And Gene Richards, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Sacrifice RBI. He did single. That single was last time up in the 6th. And that's going to be a ground ball. Back to the mound. Kim's up with it. He fires over to first, and there is 3 down. We go to the top of the 9th. It's a 6-4 ball game. Let's see who's going to come out of this bullpen for San Diego. Hopefully Trevor's not tanked here. We'll look here. And that's who it's going to be. Trevor Hoffman's going to come out and try to lock this ball game down. A 2-run lead. So Trevor's coming out of the bullpen. What happened there? We went Mr. Huffman. Where's Trevor out there? Is that? This will be Trevor's 4th appearance. He has 2 saves, no ERA. He'll be having the bottom part of the order due up. Marte came in on the double switch. Upton and Alex. Marte is batting .250 with a homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field for out number 1. We're back to the top of the order in Justin Upton. And Upton, he is 2 for 4. He has a double and RBI, came around the score. And we dropped the dice again, folks. Dropping the dice a lot here today. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Trevor strikes him out for out number 2. And it's up to Alex to keep this game alive here for the Diamondbacks. Alex is 1 for 4 with an RBI, and he scored in this game. And that's going to do it, folks. That's going to be a ground ball down the mark at second. He takes his time, fires over to Nate, and the Padres win 6-4. Let's check out the box score here. In this final game of this 4-game series. And the Padres 6 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Diamondbacks 4 runs, 7 hits and 2 errors. Top of the order did a nice job for the Diamondbacks. They were 3 for 15 with 4 RBIs, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, that was it. The top of the order did it all, didn't they? That was the only hits. That was the problem. The middle and bottom of the order couldn't help them out. 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Goldsmith with his 4th homer of the year. They left 7 men on base. And you had the only multiple hit game was Tatis was 2 for 3 today for the Padres, but they got her done. They was 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Tatis with a homer, his first of the year. They left 7 men on. Ray goes to 1 and 2, picks up the loss. 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. Only 3 of them earned. Defense definitely left them down. Walked 3, struck out 6, and gave up a homer. Kim comes in. 2 innings, scoreless ball, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. Dave DRAVECKY goes to 2-0, goes 8 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, walked 2, struck out 7, gave up a homer. Trevor Hoffman comes in, picks up his 3rd save, 1 inning and 1 strikeout. Take a look here at the standing and the leaderboard. And the Atlanta Braves a game and a half up on the Mets. The Phillies and Nats are 2.5 games back, and the Marlins 3.5. And then the Central, the Brew Crews a game up on the Pirates. The Cardinals and Cubs are a game and a half back. The Reds 2. And Houston, they have a problem. They're 3.5 games back. The Giants are now 2.5 games up on the Dodgers. Arizona and San Diego are now 3 games back. And the Rockies 4.5 games back. Sammy Sosa's leading the league with a .425 average, 10 homers and 19 RBIs, trying for that triple crown, folks. And you got Kyle Hendricks leading the National League with a .6 ERA. Mike Caldwell still with 3 wins leading the league. And Kent DeColvey with his 4 saves. Sammy Sosa's leading in MVP voting in the National League, and Mike's leading in the Cy Young. The next game on the channel is going to be another National League game. And I believe it's the Cardinals and the Giants, I believe, if my memory is correct. Check it out here. And that's going to be a 4-game series. Yep, Cardinals and Giants. And you got Carpenter going up against Bumgarner. Should be a hell of a pitching matchup there. Chris Carpenter going up against Bumgarner. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you're new to the channel, folks, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost a dime. And hit that like button and smash that like button. It helps the channel out. Until next time, you all have a great day and take care.